10 News at 10.
City Utilities is now working on repairing the lines that were snagged by a piece of equipment on a flatbed truck on James River Freeway near Campbell earlier today. Good evening. I'm Jennifer Abreu.
Good to have you along here for the broadcast tonight. I'm David Oliver. What we're talking about caused a power outage in the area there for about 2 hours. It impacted about 1,200 City Utilities customers. KOLR 10's Madison Heaver is live following the story tonight for us. Madison, what do you know about the traffic impact with this situation?
Yeah, David, the traffic on Campbell is actually backed up pretty heavily. Now, we know that because James River Freeway behind me is totally shut down, traveling both directions. Now, people that are traveling eastbound are asked to exit Kansas Expressway, and people that are traveling westbound are asked to exit Campbell. Now, City Utilities is working to repair the line that was snagged earlier that caused an outage for about 2 hours. And, you know, people are in this area. Earlier today when that happened, they said that they lost some business because of it.
There's no light, we couldn't see anything, so we kind of just had to hang out and wait till it came back on.
Manager Nathan Bingman at Bears on South Campbell says the power outage this morning made him close up the sports bar for 3 hours, which means they lost a lot of their business during the lunch hour.
We have our normal lunch people that always come in during the day from 10:30 until 12:30. We usually get hit pretty hard just because it's our regular people that always in, so we definitely lost a lot of lunch business that day just because of it. Our grill was still working, our fryers working, but like I said, computers weren't working, we didn't have anything working, so we kept it closed. Try to do some extra clean that we could do, you know, just to do some extra stuff.
But it wasn't just Bears that was out of power.
The whole strip, there was no power, no stoplights working. All the businesses around here were out of power.
Another business in the strip mall who also lost power says they were prepared for the outage.
It definitely had the possibility of being affected. Luckily, you know, we were using technology against technology a little bit, and we were using a hotspot to still keep up business. Luckily, we were still able to do cash sales as well. And the show must go on. So, yeah, we use a mobile hotspot if necessary. This was really the first time we've had to use that in action, and it worked well. We got it to work, no problem.
Although unconventional, Hedgecoke says they stayed open because they didn't want to lose any business that they did get.
No, it's like every day counts for us. You know, the vapor industry is increasingly under attack by the external forces, and so every day that we can be open, that's a good day, and we don't want to miss out on sales and also miss out on very loyal customers.
Now, the shutdown of the freeway is kind of a safety precaution because they are fixing the line that's running across it. And, you know, City Utilities said there could be some brief outages that happen later in the night as they normalize the situation. And they'll be out here until 11, and that's when James River Freeways is expected to reopen in Springfield. Madison Heaver, Ozarks First.
All right, thanks, Madison. Well, new at 10 tonight, Springfield city leaders are looking to the future. And tonight, the community was invited to attend the Forward SGF Community Kickoff. The event was a chance for residents to share ideas for the city's next master plan, which will begin when Vision 2020 is complete. Forward SGF is an 18 to 24-month comprehensive planning process to establish a vision of what the future will look like here in Springfield.
Well, right now in the process, we're kind of we're initiating public input and getting feedback from the public on what kind of assets they identify, things we need to work on, areas of concern and issues that the city needs to address over the course of the next 10 to 20 years. So we'll work on that through community engagement, a variety of workshops, interviews.
For those who want to get involved and share ideas, a community workshop is scheduled for September 4th at the Northview Center from 6 to 8 p.m.
You have a right to know at 10 tonight that an investigation is now underway into why a student brought a gun to Kickapoo High School. Someone tipped off authorities about this. The male student was brought in for questioning, and school police say he had an unloaded gun in a backpack, no ammunition. School leaders alerted parents, saying no students were harmed. It's unclear tonight what discipline that student is facing.
We have new information for you now about a cold case in Pulaski County. The sheriff's office is trying to raise money for a project to help identify a woman killed almost 40 years ago. We've been covering the story of Jane Doe for several years now. This is an artist's rendering of what she might have looked like. Jane's body was dug up in 2015 for DNA testing back in 1981. Her body was found on Highway MM north of Dixon, Missouri. Police later determined she had been strangled to death. Her killer was never found. Fast forward to today, the sheriff's office wants to use the DNA Doe Project. The organization uses forensic genealogy to identify the deceased, but the service is expensive. So volunteers are raffling off tickets to win a rifle. If you're interested, call the office. The drawing is September 10th.
Well, a farming bill that would block counties from making ordinances against big industrial farms has been put on pause tonight. This afternoon, a Missouri judge put a temporary restraining order on Senate Bill 391, which has to do with something that you've heard about before called CAFO regulations. That stands for Concentrated Animal Feeding Operations, which raise large amounts of hogs, cattle, and chickens. Several organizations, including the Cedar County Commission, have now filed a lawsuit against the state, claiming the bill is unconstitutional. The Missouri Rural Crisis Center says CAFOs are an environmental and economic hazard, but farming industry advocates say the new CAFO bill helps by adopting statewide regulations instead of leaving it up to local governments. Both Stone and Taney County have now passed health ordinances to keep CAFOs farther away. It's unclear, though, if that will work. The bill was slated to take effect August 28th, but the lawsuit has been pushed back to September 16th now, awaiting a court hearing.
In political coverage tonight, while the U.S. Senate is not in session, Senator Josh Hawley decided to spend some off time here in the Ozarks.
Yeah, in fact, today Hawley hopped around from town to town in the Ozarks. He stopped in Collins to speak with a family running a local grocery store for 60 years there. He also stopped in Smith's Restaurant in St. Clair County. He spoke with the owners there.
In Douglas County, Hawley spoke with a local cattle farmer battling cancer. They discussed the struggles of getting treatment with limited health care options. And in Ava, he met with the owner of True Brew, where some of the proceeds go to help the needy in the community.
And his last stop was in Gainesville, where he spoke to business owners and a pastor who's working to support young people in the community and break the cycle of poverty and addiction.
Hawley said in a tweet he will be traveling the whole state this week to meet more of the people he represents.
Also want to pass along some new information now tonight. Now that students are returning to school, one elected leader is calling on the governor to get armed officers in our schools sooner.
State Auditor Nicole Galloway requested that Governor Mike Parson call a special session to follow through with recommendations from a school safety task force.
And in fact, the task force led by Lieutenant Governor Mike Kehoe released a report last month that recommended every school have a school resource officer. Right now, about 60% of Missouri schools already have those officers in place. So one problem is how to fund getting more officers in the schools. Galloway says she has a solution.
Instead of local schools or law enforcement footing the bill for training officers, Galloway says there's enough state funding that could be redirected.
It also means there would be no tax increase for the public. There's no response yet tonight from Governor Mike Parson.
We have a follow-up story for you now. Federal prosecutors say a doctor who was treating veterans in Arkansas cheated drug tests and worked under the influence. Dr. Robert Levy is facing more than 30 counts, including involuntary manslaughter and fraud.
The indictment alleges that Levy entered incorrect and misleading diagnoses that he knew to be false for 3 patients, causing their deaths, and on 2 occasions said that a second pathologist checked his work and agreed with him, but actually did not. Back
in 2016, results from a drug and alcohol test showed that Levy's blood alcohol content was 0.396. That's when the Fayetteville VA suspended his privileges to practice medicine, and he started a 3-month inpatient treatment program. He entered into a contract with the Mississippi Medical Board to return to practice, but he had to send urine samples and blood samples through the mail. The indictment alleges that on 12 occasions he used a chemical substance that is not meant for human consumption and can actually be lethal to achieve a state of intoxication, but the drug was not detectable through routine drug tests.
The 2M2B that he used was again, a substance, not a drug, a substance, allowed him to receive the feeling of intoxication, but it would not show up on any type of urinalysis test. So again, he part of the scheme was his concealment of this by using that specific substance in order to mask the results of the test.
One U.S. attorney says that Levy returned back to Arkansas about a week ago after being out of the country. He was possibly teaching at a medical school. With all 31 counts, Levy is facing up to 524 years in jail and the potential for a fine of $7.75 million.
Well, you want to be sure to stick around with us for the entire show tonight. We have a very special announcement to share with you.
We're not going to tell you what it is just yet, though.
Nope.
But you want to be sure and stay around. It's a moment we've all been waiting for. I'll tell you, it's 9 months in the making,
yes,
so I probably
is.
just gave it away there. But we're going to have it coming up later here on the broadcast. First, though, in weather tonight, Jamie's in our weather lab where we saw the rain move in and kind of cooled off parts of the Ozarks.
Yeah, in a big way. I mean, we went from highs in the mid to upper 90s to temperatures in the 70s by early evening as a result of those storms that raced across our eastern counties. Another batch of that tomorrow, and we're going to find a more sustained period of milder weather to close out this week and head into the weekend. More on that in your forecast next.